Welcome, everybody, to the NFL Presidential Address for Week 8. This is part 2. We're going to discuss my 4 favorite total bets. We're going to look at the Atlanta-Tennessee game, Cincinnati-San Fran, the New York Jets and Giants, and the Houston-Carolina game. Make sure to check out part 1, where we look at our 4 favorite side bets. Okay, guys, let's get straight into it. Atlanta and Tennessee. The number here is 37, and the side on this game is -2 for Atlanta. Let me start by saying that this was a very impressive win by Atlanta last Sunday in their division game against the Bucs. This is really not a good spot to be betting on the Falcons. I like to bet against these mediocre teams after a division win, and that is the spot the Falcons find themselves in. It is not that I'm some big Tennessee supporter, but they are coming off a bye and have lost 2 games in a row. This is a crucial game for the Titans, but the issue here is, and why I'm not going to bet the side, I don't know who's going to play QB, and that's pretty damn important. We taped the show on Tuesday. It hasn't been announced yet. So although I do like Tennessee in this spot, I'm going to look at the total. I have no faith in either Tennessee quarterbacks, frankly, and that is why we're going to bet under here. Now, I know this is a low total, but I've always said over and over again, bet the low totals under, bet the high totals over. The Falcons have allowed teams to score an average of 19 points on them, and Tennessee has done exactly the same. With that said, that includes playing teams that can score. Neither of these teams are exactly known for their offense. The Falcons are the 4th lowest scoring team in all of football, averaging 16.4 points per game, while Tennessee is in the bottom 10 in scoring, averaging only 17 points a game. In Atlanta's last 5 games, they have put up 16, 16, 21, 7, and 6. That's freaking awful. While Tennessee has put up 16, 16, 27, and 3 in their last 4. So here we have 2 teams with good defenses. I think Falcons, their defense is better than good. Their defense is like medium well, if you will. And they're playing against 2 offenses that both have been struggling since day one. Neither team has gone over 20 points more than once in their last 5 games. And I don't think anything changes here. This game is 17-13 written all over it. And that's still a full touchdown under the current number of 37. We're going to play Atlanta and Tennessee under 37. Guys, real quick before we get into the New England-Miami game, I just want to mention I have a 5% teaser up for Week 8. I have a promo code to give out for you guys. It is TEASE15. That's TEASE15. You get $15 off of that 5% play. I do not have 5% teasers very often. I've only had 3 in my life, and I am 2-1 in them. This is my favorite teaser of the year. It'll also likely be the only 5% teaser play I release all season. Okay, let's turn our attention to the New England-Miami game. I think I might have said at the top of the show that we were going to look at the San Fran game, but I did change my mind at the last second. So let's turn our attention to New England and Miami. The total in this game is 47. New England is plus 9.5. And let's just start right off the bat by saying we're taking the over in this game. And I know it might sound crazy given the Pats are involved, but I do think Miami can get us most of these points alone. Let me start by saying that the last time Miami lost and didn't score a ton of points, they came back and put up 31 on the Giants and then 42 on the Panthers. At home this season, they have put up 42, 31, and 70. And I think they get us a bare minimum of 31 points again this Sunday. The Pats have no defense this year and should be eaten alive by this Miami team. The Pats played great against the Bills and still allowed 25 points to be put up on them. They let Vegas, who couldn't score in a brothel, put up 21 on them. New Orleans, who couldn't score with my money in 5 brothels, put up 34 points, and Dallas, who can score pretty much at a bar, put up 38. None of these teams can move the ball like the Dolphins. None. And this will force the Pats to score. I know the Pats have struggled to score, but they did just put up 29 on the Bills and 17 on Vegas. And if they can get 17 points in this game, we will see an over. Also to note, the Miami D is not great. They allowed Philly to score 31 on them. The Panthers put up 21. The Giants put up 16. And the Bills put up almost 50. With the line being minus 9.5, the bookmakers are telling us that Miami are going to get their points and should they should lead at some point by 2 touchdowns. This will force the Pats to throw the ball more, and they will either move the ball or stop the clock. I see Miami getting some quick scores early and then forcing the Pats to go one-dimensional and play aggressively. The bottom line is I would not be surprised if we see a 38-24 type game, which is roughly, if you add it up, about 300 points more than the current score required to get over the total. I'm not going to overthink this play. We're going to take New England and Miami over 47. Now we turn our attention to the Battle of New York. The New York Jets are -3. They're going in to play the Giants. The line here is 36.5. What do I like to do when a total is this low? I like to bet the under. And this game is perfect for that. Offensively, the Giants are the worst team in the league, and maybe in years. They have averaged 12 points a game. And before their whole amazing 14 that they put up on Washington, they hadn't scored an offensive touchdown in a month. In a month. And that doesn't include playing what is likely the best D in the league in the New York Jets. If the Giants can only put up 14 against Washington, 9 against Buffalo, 16 against Miami, and 3 against Seattle, they there's a small chance that they might become the first team in history of the league to have a minus score at the end of their game. I cannot, -3, something like that. Anyway, jokes aside, I can't see this team putting up more than 13 points on the New York Jets. The Jets, on the other hand, they're in the bottom half of the league in scoring as well, averaging under 19 points per game. I can't see them putting up 3 TDs in this game. The New York Giants have found their D right now. They held the Bills to 14. They held the Commanders to 7 in their last 2 games. And both those teams have much more firepower than the New York Jets. The Giants are 2-8 to the under in their last 10. The Jets are 3-7 to their under in the last 10. What number is too low to bet the under here? I think it's 35. I would probably bet the under if it was at 35. That's 5 touchdowns. How are 5 touchdowns being scored in this game? Sure, the Jets put up 20, 31, and 20 in their last 3, but that is not their identity. The Jets are literally the worst passing team in the league by far. The Giants are the 4th worst. Here we have a game where both teams are very conservative offensively. Both teams will run the ball all game long. Neither team will allow their QB to make mistakes and will use them as game managers instead of offensive weapons. I know Taylor has been better than Danny Dimes so far, but he can't score either. 23 points in 2 games? That's what Kansas City put up in the first half against the Chargers. Almost. Oh, no, they put up 24. Again, not overthinking this. Both teams play to the under. Both teams struggle to score. Both teams are looking to run the ball. And both teams have played good D their last 2 games, with the Jets playing great D all the time. Bottom line, we're taking New York Jets and the New York Giants under 36.5. Now we turn our attention to Houston. They're going into Carolina. The total in this game is 43. The line is Houston -3. At first, I was going to outright pass on this game, but then after doing a deep dive, The play here is the over. For however bad the Panthers are, they are consistently horrific on defense, and that is what we will take advantage of. This Panther team has allowed 42 points on them in their last 2 games. And I grant you that is against Miami and Detroit, but they allowed 37 against Minnesota. Every single game they have played this season, they have allowed more than 20 points. No team in the league has been worse on D than the Panthers, who have allowed, are you ready for this? An average of 31 points scored on them a game. 31 points. I grant you this Houston team is not some offensive juggernaut, monster Super Bowl contending team, but they put up 30 on Pittsburgh. Who's got a better defense, Pittsburgh or Carolina? They put up 37 on Jacksonville. Okay, Jacksonville doesn't have the world's greatest defense. They're a hell of a lot better than Panthers' defense. Houston on the year has scored 22.5 points per game, and now they first face the worst defense in all of football. I have to think we can get 27 from the Texans here. So how many can we get from the Panthers? The Panthers are what I would call a medium rare offensive team. They've averaged 19 points per game. They were able to put up 21 on Miami, 24 on Detroit, and 27 on Minnesota. And all 3 of those teams have better defenses than Houston. I know this is an ugly game, but I also love the angle of playing 2 crappy teams to the over. With that said, I don't think Houston is a crappy team, but they certainly aren't elite. Lastly, Houston has the 5th best passing offense by stats in the league. While the Panthers, they're not at the bottom, they're middle of the pack. I think we see a 27-21, 27-24 type game. Take Houston and Carolina over the total of 43. That's it for the show, guys. Those are my 4 favorite totals of the week. Part 1 of the NFL Presidential Address are my 4 favorite sides. I do have a 5% NFL teaser up for week 8. The promo code to get $15 off of that play is TEASE15. TEASE15. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.